Hey. But as I have used curriculum during the course of this year, and I like to do flip throughs, and so you could take a look inside, but I figured that this year I would wait until I am through most of the curriculum so I can talk through what's in the curriculum and how I liked it and how I used it, so that will give you like a better perspective on Christian light education. Now, I did Christian light education for the 5th grade, and I also did it for the 8th grade. This is a Christian curriculum, Christian light education. And I was kind of iffy about using it because with Christian curriculum, there are different denominations, so it's depends on where you're at and what you do, but I saw nothing wrong with Christian light education. So that's that on the Christian aspect of it. So this is your teacher's guide. There is a difference between 5th grade and 8th grade teacher's guide. There's a big difference between both of those. I will show you a little bit inside both of them just so you can see it. So sorry about the shadows. I was trying to figure out where my shadow was coming from and how to block it, but it is what it is. I'll try to keep my hands close to the page. So this is the contents, and basically when you get reading, you only have 5 books versus having the 10 books if you get language arts. I also did language arts this year, and I will do a separate video on language arts. So 5 of those. These show you what you're going to do in the 5 books, and it just shows you the goal is to implement biblical principles, foster a lifelong love of learning, increase comprehension and analytical skills, promote swift silent reading and smooth oral reading with full comprehension. I do have to say, like, they break it down. They make sure your child is understanding what they need to understand. So there are symbols that come in here that tell you what to do as a teacher, your daily lesson plans. Your child reads the story and then they read the story out loud. This book is set up to be taught in the classroom, so all of it you don't really have to do if you don't want to. And you will see as we get into the lessons further what I'm talking about. You have an appendix, and I will show you that. And then there are symbols in the book that tells your student that, hey, your teacher or your mom needs to sign this or look at this. So those are also good. As far as what reading covers, you have vocabulary, poetry, your comprehension. They get a self-check at the end of the book, which I will show you. They tell you how to score and grade. As far as my 5th grader is concerned, I only test him in math, language arts, and reading. I don't really test him in anything else. And that is just for me. So I know that he is getting what he should be getting, right? Okay. So scheduling, another great thing about this is that because it only comes with 5 books, it takes you about a month to complete one of these books. So because your school year is like 10 months, or if you homeschool year round, you could start one book and take a month off and then do another book. Or you can do it all in the beginning of the year, or you can just choose to do it a couple days a week. So I do like that also, because you don't just you want them to be able to read other books too. And for me, with reading and literature, I want to make sure that my kids are learning the concepts behind reading and not just the basic ones. I feel like this really what gives a good, solid reading comprehension. When I talk about the 8th grade, I really felt like that is a good setup to going into like really studying some good literature. This is a storybook that goes with level 5. And this is what it kind of looks like inside. There's nothing fancy. It's just stories. Okay, so that goes with the units. And that's scheduling. It goes into like telling you how to teach, what do you want to, doing the oral reading, building fluency. It tells you to use audiobooks, like just helping them to read more for kids that, you know, they might not like to read. Mine, he is more so into graphic novels, reading. So this is why I chose to get the reading curriculum, because he's really not of, I want to open up a book and sit and read. So we're still working on that, you know. So it tells you about teaching reading comprehension. It tells you about how to conduct oral reading. And some of this stuff is more so for the classroom. It teaches your poetry. It covers vocabulary. It's all there as far as reading. So this is what the first lesson in the book will look like. And as a matter of fact, I will turn to one of the books that we haven't done yet. This is lesson 1. This is the book for 504. It shows you everything in here. With each book comes your quizzes and tests that are in the middle. There's 2 quizzes and 1 test per book. And then in the back of your child's book, it has a glossary for them, so they don't have to go looking for it in a dictionary. They have reading terms, which this is something that I love, because I can go here and make flashcards or to review, or just pull this out and say we need to work on this. And then you have your prefix, suffix, and root chart, which all of those are inside the teacher's guide too, which I will show you. So lesson 1, it says vocabulary, right? It says the objectives, we're going to learn these definitions, we're going to make a prediction, we're going to determine definitions of a homonym. All of these are your objectives. So this is lining up with his vocabulary. The same vocabulary, same vocabulary. All right. So then you read a story. So at the end of the page, it says, it tells your child to silently read. So that's at the end of the page. And then they work on it, right? So before I go further in the student thing, I just want to show you the teacher's thing. We're introducing the story. It gives you extra information. It has all the sheets that your child is doing for that one lesson with the answers right there. And it's talking about author's purpose. So it gives you all of this information to add on to helping your child along in this lesson, which is something that I love it. It is very good. I know I'm not trying to say saying I love things, but this is a very good curriculum. And I really like that. Then they also give you optional story activities that you can do. I also like that. You see, they give you, when they do oral reading, they give you discussion questions that you can ask. There's also, probably in all the light units, there's a memory verse. So they have you do a memory verse. Sometimes I make him memorize a memory verse. Sometimes I do not. I try not to pile so many things on sometimes. So this is inside the student guide. The first story is called Lions in the Night. So it's talking about the author's purpose. And then in lesson 2, it's going to story comprehension. And then what story element are we talking about? And then as you see, there's a verse for the lesson as well. And then 3, it goes on again. More vocabulary words, all of this stuff. And they teach literary techniques. So I really like this. This has really hit home for me. And we definitely will be continuing this next year and using it until 8th grade, if so be it. Hopefully we can keep that up. Oops, sorry. So that is inside the light unit, and all of them cover different things, but it's a whole, altogether very nice unit of study for reading. In the back, I just want to show you that this is where the appendix is, and it shows you this is where you will find all the skills when they are first introduced. This is a good sheet because in language arts also, you might be teaching a lesson and you're like, oh snap, what does that mean again? So this does help for you to go back and figure out like, oh, I forgot what an onomatopoeia is. So you can go back and look at that page so you can help your child. Comprehension and evaluation skills. This is basically where they're learning this in the book. Scripture truths, extra activities, oral readings. Like, so it really breaks down everything for you. This is the scope and sequence. And this is good for out of any curriculum book. You can literally just pull this page out and put it in your child's portfolio. And for me, when I do this, I just highlight or unhighlight. Highlight everything they did or just highlight what they didn't do and then mark down here like highlighted material we didn't cover. So if you didn't go over it, I'm doing that in the language arts because language arts includes writing and we're not using the language arts for writing. So I just highlight the things that we're not going to complete and just make a note at the bottom, and this page would go in his portfolio. Again, another one for the skills. These are all the vocabulary words. So even at the beginning of the year, you could make flashcards if your child likes flashcards, or you can have the words ready before the year, however, whatever you want to put them on. So I really do like that. There are a lot of vocabulary words, as you see. Then it goes by story and breaking down the vocabulary words. So these are the stories, the words you learn in the story that you read. Then there's reading terms. So you have what is an alliteration. Like, it's really broken down. Really, this is, when I say solid, when I first got this, I was like, oh, is this just going to be another, like, oh, it's a great price, but the curriculum is like, it has worth and it's a great price. So, yeah. Scriptures for each story, memory verses, and then you have additional tests. These are extra tests, like maybe your child didn't do so good and you want to test them again. I haven't really used any of these, but it's a different way. If you just want to make sure that's something that they weren't getting, if you want to retest, if you just want to give them part of it, it's all up to you. So it's basically blank. You just go in here and make copies. So, all right. Then you have the flashcards for the prefixes, suffixes, and the root words that they might be learning. They make flashcards for you, which I love. I just make copies. And then this is the last one. It just shows you as a teacher where everything is, where it is in their book, where it is in the teacher guide, where it is in the light unit. So everything is laid out. You can find anything. I definitely like that about this. And that is the reading 5. Really quick, I just want to show you reading 8. These are the vocabulary words. I want to show you, yes, this is what I want to show you. So in reading 8, you really cover some good literary, critical thinking, and poetic terms. Like some of these terms my kids have not heard as far as when it comes to poetry. So I really thought that even for this being 8th grade, it was a very, I feel like it is prepping him for what he's going to have to do in 9th grade, and I'm really liking this. I like this so much that my 9th grader, instead of doing Knotgrass history literature, I started him on this, and he's doing this as well before he gets into the 10th grade, because I feel like he needed some catch up. So, yep. Same thing with them in 8. Theirs is a little bit more hefty, I will say, as far as the 8th grade one. It's all the same on the inside, but I will show you 8th grade. Sorry. Let me just show you a light unit from the 8th grade. Because even though 5th grade looks a little lighter, like this. Okay, so when you open up 8th grade though, the words get a little smaller and there is more information to fill in. So it's really breaking it down. And even stumping them sometimes, like, what the heck does that mean? Especially when it comes to like the poetry, these are the tests. When it comes to the poetry and stuff, we really have to dig deep. And it's fun because sometimes it's like, oh, it's nice that you be like, Mom, I need help with this. So I still like that. Sometimes I get to help my kids in their work. As I know in a few years, they'll be doing their stuff by themselves. For next year, my 6th grader definitely will be using reading 6. So that is definitely a decision that I've already made as far as curriculum is concerned. But yeah, if you have any more questions, leave them in the comments and let me know, and I will answer them for you. Hit that subscribe, and I will check you out next time. Bye. One thing that I want to say that I didn't get to say is that it's spiral in the way that it teaches. So what they learned before, they will go back and review it. And also before they take the final test, there is a complete self-check in the back of the page that they do themselves, and they check their own work, kind of preparing them for the tests that they're going to take. So they would do this and check it their own so they can kind of know what they got wrong, what they need to make sure they know for the test. So I do like that also. So that is another feature that I forgot. I just wanted to insert this in because I did forget. All right, guys. I will see you in my next video. Bye.